Good morning, children. Yesterday we had discussed till that cell suspension culture. What do we mean by cell suspension culture? Already we have told when the callus cells have been collected and it is taken in liquid medium, and after this callus cells to be agitated by the rotary shaker instrument, the cells will be separated from the callus tissue and that can be used as cell suspension culture. Now this production of secondary metabolites, this cell suspension culture can be useful for the production of secondary metabolites. Already we know the secondary metabolite. What do you mean by secondary metabolites? The products that are produced by the plant cells or the cells that are not used by their metabolic activities that can be utilized by the human being for their benefit. These are called the secondary metabolites. Alkaloids, example alkaloids, flavonoids, terpenoids, phenolic compounds, and the recombinant proteins. Secondary metabolites are the chemical compounds that are produced, not required, that just now I told, not required by the plant for normal growth and development, but are produced in the plant as byproducts of cell metabolism. And those byproducts can be utilized by the human being for their benefit. So one such example has been given. Suppose indole alkaloids, biosynthesis and isolation of indole alkaloids from Catharanthus roseus, Nikia collani plant cell culture, from plant cell culture. The process of production of secondary metabolites can be scaled up, can be taken into consideration, and can be used for different medicinal purposes also. And automated use in bioreactors, large scale we can produce for commercial production. Many strategies such as biotransformation, elicitation, and immobilization have been used to make cell suspension cultures more efficient in the production of secondary metabolites. Few examples of industrially important secondary metabolites are listed below in the table. One such example, digoxin, that is where plant source is Digitalis purpurea, that is used as cardiac tonic. To keep our heart in healthy condition, we can use this plant source, this metabolite, secondary metabolites. Codeine, Papaver somniferum, which is called the analgesic. Analgesic is nothing but the painkiller, can be used. Capsaicin, Capsicum annuum, capsaicin, Capsicum annuum, that is Simlamid, we are saying that one. It is Papaver somniferum, rheumatic pain treatment. The joints treatment we can use, bone joints treatment. Next one is vincristine. Vincristine, the alkaloid obtained from, we told that is called Catharanthus roseus, anti-carcinogenic, that means carcinogenic property is there. Anti-carcinogenic treatment of cancer, treatment can be used. Quinine, the name of the plant Cinchona officinalis, it is used as anti-malarial. Malarial fever can be treated with this chemical which is called the quinine, which is derived from the bark of this plant Cinchona officinalis. So these are the alkaloids, secondary metabolites have been produced from these certain plants by this cell suspension culture. Now next one we are going to discuss about the plant regeneration pathway. From the plants can be regenerated by somatic embryogenesis or organogenesis. So plant, already we have told all this. Plant can be taken meristem, shoot apex. Virus-free plantlets can be developed. Stem, node region, multiple shoot induction by micropropagation. Leaf, root, callus, all these can be used as plant and we can regenerate the plants. So after getting multiple shoot induction, that is micropropagation, root induction, root formation, plantlets, then hardening and the transfer to the field. So these are the different things to be done. And now steps, callus tissue, indirect embryogenesis. Embryogenesis, I told, embryoid formation will be root and shoot formation. Root induction, shoot induction, root induction, then plantlets, hardening, transfer to the field. And this any explant direct embryogenesis, embryoids, plantlets, hardening, transfer to the field. So in this, that whatever plants we are regenerating by tissue culture technique, we can place them, we can bring them into natural condition by this tissue culture method. Callus tissue from explant, callus tissue formation may take place. These virus-free plantlets can be developed from meristem culture. Already we have told all these things. So these are the different direct embryogenesis, indirect embryogenesis. Direct embryogenesis, explant can develop directly embryoids after the plantlets. Indirect means first callus tissue formation. Direct embryogenesis also callus tissue formation will be taking place from explant. So indirect means explant to callus tissue, then only explant any plant part, then we can go for indirect embryogenesis, then root formation, shoot formation, plantlets and hardening process. Now next, plant regeneration pathway. Explant we have taken callus formation. Direct somatic embryogenesis. Explant callus tissue somatic embryo. This callus tissue to form, that is called root organogenesis. Indirect root formation, shoot formation. Then plantlet will be there, rooting and shooting and new plantlet will be developing. Indirect. This is direct one. Another direct method, direct organogenesis, explants to directly we can place it into culture medium. Then organogenesis, rooting, shooting, everything will be taking place and it will form the plantlets. So regeneration pathway. Now next part we are going to discuss about the somatic embryogenesis. Again the same thing. Somatic embryogenesis is the formation of embryos from the callus tissue directly, and these embryos are called the embryoids, or from the in vitro cells directly form pre-embryonic cells which differentiated into embryoids. Now what is the application of this? So somatic embryogenesis definition is the formation of embryos from the callus tissue directly, and these embryos are called the embryoids, or from the in vitro cells directly form the pre-embryonic cells which differentiates into embryoids. Pre-embryonic cells which differentiates into embryoids. So from the callus tissue only, if it is directly developing embryos, they are called the embryoids, or in vitro cells, that means in artificial medium we have to keep these cells, form from pre-embryonic cells which differentiate to form the embryoids. Application. Somatic embryogenesis provides potential plantlets which after hardening period can establish them into plants. Number 2, somatic embryoids can be used for the production of synthetic seeds, that we will be discussing now. Third point, somatic embryogenesis is now reported in many plants. Allium sativum, Hordeum vulgare, that is the English name barley, Oryza sativa we know, Z maize we know, and this possible in any. This is possible in the seeds. This is possible in any plant. What do you mean by synthetic seeds? Now, synthetic seeds are produced by encapsulation of embryoids. That means whatever embryoids will be produced, that will be coated with agarose gel or calcium alginate. Then that can be kept for a long period of time as young plantlet. That is called synthetic seeds. In detail we will come. Organogenesis. The morphological changes that occur in the callus leading to the formation of root. Callus tissue will be forming the root or shoot. Shoot formation, it is called collagenesis. Callus differentiation, then shoot formation, it is called collagenesis, C-A-U-L-O, collagenesis. From the shoot will be developing aerial part. When this callus tissue by differentiated, root formation will be taking place, which is called rhizogenesis. Rhizo means root, genesis means development. So root formation will be taking place. When root and shoot formation takes place from the callus tissue, by differentiation the plantlets develop. That is called organogenesis. Morphological changes that occur in the callus leading in the formation of root and shoot is called organogenesis. Organogenesis can be induced in vitro by inducing plant growth hormones or regulators in the MS medium. What are the hormones? Auxin and cytokinin induce shoot and root formation. Already we know that one. That is organogenesis. 3 marks question may come. Applications of plant tissue culture. Plant tissue culture techniques have several applications. Very, very important. Improved hybrid production through somatic hybridization. Second one, somatic embryos can be encapsulated, forming the capsule coating into synthetic seeds, or they are also called synseeds. These encapsulated seeds or synthetic seeds help in conservation of plant biodiversity. Third one, production of disease-resistant plant through meristem and shoot tip culture. Meristem culture we'll be discussing afterwards. Fourth one, production of stress-resistant plants like herbicide-resistant, heat-tolerant plants can be developed. Fifth one, micropropagation is the technique by at a short period of time large number of plants can be produced. Already first chapter we have discussed micropropagation technique to obtain large number of plantlets of crop and tree species in forestry within a short period. That is the important short period of time and all throughout the year, all through the year. Sixth point, production of secondary metabolites from cell culture used in pharmaceutical, cosmetic and pharmaceutical industry, cosmetic industry and food industries. These are the applications, very, very important for 5 marks question. Okay, thank you children.